Hi everyone, it's Nicole and I'm here with another color with me. It's a CC design stamp set called Pina Colada. I've been doing quite a few of Christmas stamps, but I kind of ran out, so I gotta go and color in a few more. It's been a little busy around here, so I'm so glad I had 7 of these kind of pre-done, because now I think there's only this one and another one and then I'm out. So I gotta start coloring again. Let's talk about what colors I use. So for the hair, I use E21, E31, and E25. And it's probably the hair that I have sort of like the most trouble with, but I'm starting to, get it a little bit more, and I kind of like it a little bit more when I do the hair now. I found some that I colored probably 2 or 3 years ago, and I was like, ooh, these are rough. And now I'm like, oh, I can see, that I need improvement, but it's getting there. And for the face, I use E000, E00, and R20. And what I do is I start with the lightest color, I color everything in, and then I go with the color that is a little darker and just kind of go on the edges, and then I blend it with the lightest color. And I do that with every single section, so it's not just with the skin, but I do that with everything. Start with the lightest, put it all in, then go at the edges and kind of flick it inwards, and then blend it with the darker color. And I think the skin is probably my favorite part to do. I really enjoy doing the skin, um, and just trying out different tones, and seeing how that goes. So now the dress, I'm using YG00, YG01, and then the top of the dress, I'm going to use R00, R01, and R24. Now, somebody asked me if I ever mix the Copics and the Ohuhu markers. I haven't yet. It's probably something, you know, that you can definitely do because they're both alcohol markers. But I'm trying to see whether I like my Copic markers more or if I like my Ohuhu markers more. At some point, I might just say, hey, I'm just going to put my Ohuhu markers on Facebook Marketplace, because do I really need that many Copic markers and Ohuhu markers? Some would argue yes. And I'm not 100% sold that I need both. I am enjoying right now coloring with both. And whenever I think, should I get rid of something, I always think of the fact, well, it's here now and you're using it. So maybe wait till you don't use them anymore and then maybe you can sell them, or, um, scrapbooking is the only craft that stuck. I have tried everything over the years. And you can say, well, this is not scrapbooking. It isn't, it's coloring. But I'm doing these little characters to put in my scrapbooking. Now, I forgot if I did mention what her name is. It's Pina Colada. If I didn't. If I did, oh, you got the name twice. And this is going to be perfect for the pages that I'm going to scrap for my cruise. And so, when I color these in, as I'm coloring them in, I'm trying to think of places where I can use these little characters. So that's one thing that I love, is that I am not just coloring them in and then they're just going to lay there and not be used. I forgot to mention that the shoes are BG10 and BG11. Coconut was E31 and E25, and the glasses was C0 and C1. Now I'm using my Ohuhu markers, and I might as well tell you all in a row what I'm using. So I only have 3 or 4 markers that I can use for the skin tone with the Ohuhu markers. I'm trying to figure out if I want to get the set of 40 that is skin tone and hair. I'm kind of holding off because if you buy the other big packages, then you don't need to get that set, right? But I don't know if I want to get the other packages, so I'll probably just get the hair, kit, but I'll just wait till after Christmas sometime. So for the face, I have R18, R19, and R21. And then the hair, I have E280 and E310. For the dress, I have G020, G060. And the top of the dress, I have R120 and R160. And the shoes, I use BG4 and BG5. And the coconut is E280 and E170. And the glasses, I use CG02 and no, CG026 and G050. Now, if you can tell, it says if you're coloring on thin paper, put this in between. I actually got that with a set of Ohuhu markers. I wish you could buy that separately, but it does come with a set of Ohuhu markers. And at first, when I was coloring my little people, I never put that underneath, and it seeps through, depending what kind of paper you have. And what I would end up with is a whole bunch of alcohol marker on my desk, and then I would have to clean it up. So now I just put that in between what I color and whatever, if it's directly on a page or in a dot journal, if you put that on there, it's going to prevent it from bleeding. And then if you are coloring directly in a dot journal or a journal of some kind, I would use some distress glaze over top, because your alcohol marker will bleed over to the next page if once you close your book. But if you put distress glaze over top, then it seals it in, and it does two things. It seals it in, but it also makes your colors so much more vibrant. I just love it. And here I am applying the distress glaze to the little character. And then the last thing I do is I take out my dot journal, I stamp the stamp set that I used, and I drop my ink pad. So what I end up doing, because I don't want this big blotch there, is I end up going to the back of my book, or I might have gone into another book. I've probably went into another dot journal. I cut out a page, and then I'm just going to use some glue, and I just put it over top. So the page is a little thicker, but it's better than having that big splotch of black ink. So I stamp the two, one for the Copic markers, one for the Ohuhu markers. Then I make a little box that is 2.5 by 3.25. I take a watercolor marker and I color every second line. And how I choose the colors is I just look at the little character that I just colored, and I choose the colors from there. And then in those squares, if you will, I write down all the colors that I use. One, it helps me when I'm doing these voiceovers. I have it right in my book and I can just tell you what colors I used. But even better is when I go and use these characters, I can say, I want to do another one exactly the same, or I can say, oh, instead, let me try a different color. And then I would do another page. But that's it. That is going to complete this color with me. So if you're new to my channel, don't forget to hit subscribe if you're enjoying these videos. If you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up, leave me a comment down below. And I want to thank you so much for watching. Bye.